Just think of it as the rough draft of the podcast world. This is the Newbie Writers Podcast with your hosts, Damien Boat and Catherine Bramkamp.
Hey, this is episode 195 of the Newbie Writers Podcast, and we're back because it was I had a holiday for all of 2 days last week.
You had a 2-day holiday with a lot of driving.
I know. I did take a photo of us in the car, and someone said, "You look thrilled." Well, yeah. So that was good.
No one looks thrilled after being in a car for what was that? A 10-hour drive?
Yeah. Went to Melbourne.
Yeah, I wouldn't look very thrilled after a 10-hour drive myself.
You know, your brain starts doing very bizarre things when you're driving for that sort of distance. And I started to, I don't know, analyze why or how we say the word Melbourne.
I
don't know why.
Good thing to contemplate on the way to Melbourne.
Yeah, see, Americans say Melbourne, right? Scout them.
I'm trying to say Melbourne. I'm trying to kind of,
No.
slide that into the right. But I'm still too Californian, sorry.
You need to be lazy. It's like Melbourne.
Okay, I'll work on laziness. That'll be my next thing next year, January. I'll work on being lazy like you.
But then I started to think, hang on, those Matt Damon movies, The Bourne Identity, we don't say The Bin Identity, spelt the same. Anyway, that's how stupid my brain
the
went.
Bourne Identities. That's why we say Melbourne and The Bourne Identity. See where we're going with this?
I know. Maybe you're right for once.
No, you're the local. You're right.
I don't know. We have a guest on today, Carla Caruso. She's from Adelaide as well. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
We are lazy, aren't we, with how we speak?
Australians?
Yes.
Or? Oh, okay. Yeah. I was thinking, don't Melbourne people say Melbourne? Or, like milk? They sort of say it different again?
Yeah. We had this conversation with a mate of mine over dinner when we were there because he's originally from Adelaide. And he said, there's some things I still can't get my head around. So here, when we go out, we go to mow the lawn. He said they don't do that here. They mow the grass.
Oh.
And I went, I didn't know that. Because if I say mow the lawn, they look at me really strangely, like I'm an alien.
Oh, that's like I lived in Sydney and I used to say, we can have an early minute, and they say an early mark. They just thought, what the hell are you talking about? There's just some really bizarre little quotes we have, and Catherine probably has got no idea what we're talking about.
No, I'm from a freakishly large country myself, and if you have one set of, I have students. One of the phrases we use in California is hella, and we had a student who was originally from the south of our country, southern states, and I guess she went home after living in Oakland for 6 months, just long enough to pick up all of the linguistical bad habits, and goes home and says, "Man, that was hella good." And everybody's looking at her like, "Why are you swearing at us?"
Oh. That sounds like something a rapper would say.
I know. Well, they're all rappers in America.
That's true.
Well, I was speaking to someone from Sydney yesterday, and you know how we have a casual day? You wear casual clothes to work or school. Well, they don't call it that. They call it a mufti day. What the hell does that mean?
I've heard
What on earth does that mean?
I don't know.
Day?
Mufti. MUFTI. It's weird.
Mufti.
Maybe it stands for something. Or
I don't know.
It's an acronym.
Yes. And the Americans had Thanksgiving, so you're all a bit fatter.
Yes, we are.
Anyway, moving right along.
A whole holiday devoted to gluttony. What can we say? That should sum up America quite well.
So what date is Thanksgiving? November.
Thanksgiving is the last Thursday of November.
Okay.
So it's a moving holiday. We have a 4-day holiday, which is mostly spent in obligatory visitations to your parents.
Okay. That doesn't sound so
fun. Where they are. So it's probably the most traveled holiday we have.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's the most traveled holiday, and then Christmas follows far behind. So everybody is like, "Oh, you have to come home for the holidays," and I look at my children and like, "Nah, don't fly down for the holidays because that's just going to be annoying."
But don't you have to do that through Christmas?
For Christmas, yeah. I was thinking they should put them together.
Yeah. I don't think our hearts could stand it. So
okay,
just spread it out a little bit.
Yeah. You know, I don't want to have to see all of my family at the end of November and then go, cool, I'll see you in 20 days' time. Forget that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's what it is, essentially. I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm just saying that's what happens.
Yeah.
But oddly enough...
We'll be doing it here before long, I think. We're doing Halloween, so Thanksgiving must be next. I'm hoping.
You're thankful that you're not overrun by Americans with guns. I mean, that would probably work.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, we're talking about that
the
before.
headline's not so good lately.
Well, actually,
not so
Catherine,
good.
how far from you was that? Because you're in California.
Oh, San Bernardino is very south of where I am, so it's about probably 9 hours.
Oh,
so about
right.
as far away as you are from Melbourne.
Well, there you go. I don't know.
So there you go. Yeah, so very, very far away and like super disturbing. And yes, I know. You don't even have to tell me. I know.
No, look, to be honest, from the other side of the world, I think we're at the point now, every time we hear the news report about another mass shooting, we do that sort of, you purse your lips and just shake your head slowly, and then you go back to eating, sort of like, yeah, whatever, it's happened again.
Yeah, it's almost, and that's wrong, but that I completely understand the reaction. It's like, oh, when we say, oh, seriously again, it's like, seriously, when is this? We don't have any answers right now. There we go. I don't have an answer.
No.
Move to Australia.
Yeah.
We're too far away from, the rest of the world.
Because it's quiet and civilized in your country, yes.
Yeah.
Apparently. Unless you go to
we
the
just
soccer.
don't have Thanksgiving.
No.
Oh, yeah, the soccer.
Yeah, that's right.
Sorry.
You do have that.
Anyway, let's talk about writing. And oddly enough, with the, American... I know we've covered American versus Australian things, but I've noticed on Amazon, one of Carla's books, which one was I at? A Pretty Mess, that someone left a pretty average review solely because they didn't understand Australian slang, basically.
Oh, interesting.
And then they put at the end, having spent some time in Australia, I had some difficulties. Now, we've covered this
they've
before.
been to Australia too.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I try not to read reviews anymore.
You should
That's
respond
a good
to
idea.
it.
I vote for that myself.
You should respond to it and go, too right, Cobber.
Yeah. I should.
Because we've done this show for, 3 or 4 years now, and I still don't get some of the American ones, so...
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, that's the point of slang. And it's just, I feel like with that's not necessarily a good argument or repudiation of a book. Of course, you're going to write for your audience, and you're going to write based on where you are and where the language is, and you're going to go for regional dialect because that's interesting. And I think it's incumbent on the reader to say, wow, I have never heard of that word. I'm going to go look it up. How hard is it, especially if you're reading it on a Kindle? You just press the word and the definition will come up. So I don't think that's a legitimate argument or complaint at all.
Do you think, though, that it would be even worse if someone like, in Carla's position is writing a book and then they think, that sounds too Australian, I might American it up a bit?
If it's super, and I've done this with my own work, I think that if you're writing something really fast, you're burning through your first draft, and so you just put in all of the regional words that you're just going to use or your slang, and then when you go back a second round, you could very well look and say, how regional is this term? Is this an American or an Australian or a British term, or is it a Melbourne term? Is it a East Side Oakland term? How specific do you want it to be? Because the more slang you put in a book, the more you date the book, and so that's another artistic decision you need to make.
Yeah. I tend to do that with technology too. I'll mention things like Facebook or Twitter, and then probably in a year they'll be out of fashion. Yeah. I think I need to worry a bit more about the slang and the technology and the pop culture references. But I haven't.
And there's no getting around that, because I did a book series that I wrote in the early 2000s. And and the technology changed so fast by the time I was finished with the fifth book. It's like, oh my goodness, the technology has completely changed. So all you can do then is say, well, it was said in this time, and this is what it looked like, and move forward.
So what did you have in that book? Yeah. What did you have in that book, Catherine? Did you have, and my character then flipped up her phone and pushed the letter 1 3 times to get A and then B?
It was almost like that. I tried to be a little more vague than that. Is kind of, this goes back to our, do you build a time machine argument for the other book series. But what I realized as I was, I'm going along, wrote the books. I'm not in the industry anymore. It was based in the real estate industry. But I realized by the last book, it's like, oh my God, everything's online. Everybody's signing forms online. No one's faxing. No one is, everyone's on their phone. They're not going in on their computers. I mean, the whole industry had shifted very dramatically from the time I wrote the first book, Death Revokes the Offer, to the last, Trash Out. And I think that that's really interesting, but it's very difficult for writers. You have to look at and say, what do I want? Do I want the book to be embedded in the time that I'm writing, in which case go for the technology, or do I want it to be a broader story, and in which case I'm going to have to make up things or anticipate technology that maybe is not invented yet. Then that's fun.
Yeah. I think technology has made it harder. Like, say you're trying to find someone. Like these days, you can Google anyone. It's technology has kind of made some storylines dead.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's a good point, and I think you're right.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think of a story that just ends quickly. You go all the build up trying to find someone, then that nerdy person comes into the CSI lab and goes, "Look, I found them on Facebook."
Right.
Exactly. Yeah.
And they're at the cafe having this drink, and they've taken a photo of their food.
That's how I know.
Yeah. I think that my husband told me a joke the other day about, remember when we used to take photos of food on film and then we'd have to wait for them to come out? And it's like, oh no, we never did that.
Yeah.
We never took photos of our food.
No, we didn't.
No.
Gosh.
No.
Anyway.
I try not to.
Now, let's start further back. How did you get into writing?
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, so, yes. Basically, writing is all I've ever wanted to do since I was, knee-high to a grasshopper. I was hopeless at anything else, any other job. I did checkout chick or checkout operator, whatever they call it in America, bank teller, writing's the only thing I've been able to do, and I don't even know if I do that well, but...
Seems to be doing all right so far.
Yeah. Sometimes, but yeah, so, having writing fiction never felt like a real job or, anything attainable. So, and it really isn't until you're J.K. Rowling. It's hard to earn a decent wage from it. But, so I worked in journalism originally and did that for sort of over 10 years. So, yeah, I got to, fulfill my creative needs and write for a living before, I finally sort of got the courage up or enough life experience to try fiction, which is what I always really wanted to do. Yeah. So, yeah, words are it.
Words are it. That should be the title of the show, actually. I should change it.
Yeah.
God. For those who are wondering, I came across you at that the Seaford Library event. You were hosting a workshop.
Yes.
Which is really good. Other than...
Thank you, because that was my first library talk on my own and workshop. So I'd had a few experiences of doing little workshops before and it had been quite excruciating. So I was totally dreading it. So I'm glad you enjoyed yourself.
Yeah, no, it's good. I hadn't been to one before. That's why I went down there, because I thought, well, I'm in the area. I'll come and have a look. And the only feedback is, don't make people introduce themselves. I was sitting there going, oh, really? Yeah. Here we go. Oh, no.
Just to break the ice, I guess. I think, because I did one workshop before at the Essay Writers Centre on romantic comedy, writing romantic comedy. Yeah. And I found it took too long for people to sort of interact. It was just me talking at them. And I thought, I don't know, you have to sort of get people relaxed and to feel part of it, that interaction. So
yes.
That's what it's about.
I just felt self-conscious because when it was like, so why are you here? It's like, well, I have a podcast on writing and I talk about it and we welcome newbies. I thought, oh my God, they're all going to go, what?
Oh, they probably wanted to sign up.
Yes. But it's your workshop, not mine. But how does that come about? Does the library approach you? How do you set that sort of thing up?
Yeah, that one they did. They have I think, essay readers and writers festival, and the librarian who got in touch with me was actually the auntie of a journalist who'd interviewed me before and I'd sent her some books, and she must have, maybe she'd passed on the books, or I don't know, but I mean, it could go either way. I did approach my local library at Mitcham when I had my first book out, and they said, new authors, you're not going to get a crowd. So with one book, so I never heard back. I think, it tends to be the superstar authors really that get to do the library talk tours. Not that I'm a superstar. In Australia, Fiona McIntosh, Di Morrissey, those sort of people that will bring crowds. Whereas, but some friends of mine, they call themselves the Suspense Sisters. There's two authors. They're pretty new at it. And they've been approaching libraries themselves, getting some knockbacks, maybe it's because it's two for the price of one. But they've been getting some
helps
yeses.
to have a team effort.
Yeah.
But you had a good turnout, though. I mean, I think
it was the local book club helped. So they came along.
Yeah, it doesn't
But
matter.
I think as well. Yeah, I think what libraries are trying to do now is add a workshop, so it's not just a talk. There's something in it for people to come along too. So I think that helps. So that they get a free workshop and free food.
Yes, cooked by your mother. But when when they approached you, though, what went through your brain? Do you think, or did you just say, yeah, sure, and then hang up and go, crap, now what am I going to talk about?
Well, it was several months before. I think it was even like the summer, like January, February before it happened. So I'm always very gung-ho before, months before, even like doing this podcast or something. I'm like, yeah, I can do that. In my mind, I'm this superhuman being.
Aren't we all?
That doesn't get nervous, and then when actually, like the week before, I'm just like shitting my pants or whatever you're allowed to say. Sorry, but so I was like, oh yeah, I can do this. This is what I'm meant to do. Get out there, get my name out there, blah blah blah. But I did sort of think, maybe they think I'm a bit bigger than I am, but because I've only had 2 paperbacks and a few some ebooks as well. So yeah, I was a bit worried no one would turn up, but I was quite happy with how it all went. So
yeah, but then
I think because I'd had a few bad experiences.
Even that though, with I didn't think anyone turned up because I've only had 2 books out and this and that. That's more than the people that like me that turn up. So already you're sort of ahead of the game there. So we were all sitting there going, I'd love to have a book published. Well, I've already done that. Cool. Tell me how. Yeah,
I think.
Tell me more. Yeah.
I think it's that thing of as humans, you always want more. I guess. Like I thought, once I had one book out, I'd be happy and I could, die and that would be fine. I've reached my goal. But it's when you're in the writers' community, you see how well some other writers are doing, and so I guess it's like if you're playing sport or something. To use someone as an idol, but they're looking at someone else. That's when you're in that world, you can see. Well, I'm only selling this many books and they're selling that many, and your goals start to change, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's the
so
beauty
I'm still
of
not happy yet.
this show here. I'm the newbie. I don't have anything out, but Catherine's the pro. So, yeah, we all look to her for the actual advice, and I just ask the really stupid questions.
You don't ask the stupid questions.
Yeah, there's something for everybody.
I'm getting there with the stupid questions. I'm leading into them. God. Anyway, so... journalists ask stupid questions. That's our job. So, we can... that's what the public wants to ask. So we get to get in there first. I don't know.
Anyway.
Has journalism changed a bit to become more of that attack style? Is that... no one ever seems to ask just, hey, how are you going sort of questions. It's straight to the jugular and just, I don't know. Almost seems like personal attacks. And then they wonder why the person that they're like a politician is getting their back up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's much more
I guess they need it,
confrontational.
yeah.
I think in a way it is because they want to be like, it's almost like that closed circle. So they want to be like the serious journalists and have the hardball questions, and then at the same time you get kind of these standard questions if you read, the lesser magazines that are more like People Magazine or Us or Look or any of those, and then you just read along and you think, really, did someone get paid to write this, really? Because it's like super softball, they just like pulled it from the PR release kind of writing.
Yeah.
Versus that, well, now how do you really, your house burned down, your children are dead, how do you feel right now? Seriously, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think as a journalist, you need, you're more worried about your boss, and you need to have an angle. So if it is coming across like PR fluff, as you were talking about, you get in trouble. It wouldn't get a run unless there's some big celebrity that will only let you run it that way. So I think it's just that you have to find an angle so it doesn't look like an ad for someone.
True.
Yeah.
Have you had someone,
That helps.
when you're a journalist, did you ever have people contact you and say, send us the list of questions that you're going to ask?
Yeah. And I remember I've had people say, that's not an appropriate question. I'll say who it is because I don't care. Oh, but now I've forgotten her name. She's some bridal fashion designer, and it's sort of big deal in Sydney. Rachel, someone, and she's dating some TV hard. What do you call it? Hardware. I can't think of the word. Handyman sort of like Tom something. Anyway, it's not going to make any sense to anyone, but she just, because I was asking questions about their wedding because it was a celebrity wedding, they're like, that's not appropriate. I'm just only talking about the fashion, and I find it. I don't know. I think that's what annoyed me, particularly about journalism in the end, because I worked for a gossip column. Now I think interviewing celebrities was one of the worst bits because they're so horrible half the time. Yeah.
Really.
That's the problem I have. Is if someone said to me, that's an inappropriate question to ask me, okay, then answer it anyway.
Yeah. See, I'm probably not as, out there as you. I'm probably a bit softer in my approach. But, I don't know. I don't know what people expect. I have had people, sometimes you have to send them the story. I don't like to do that, and then they'll totally change it. And, I said that, but I didn't mean that. And all that sort of thing. When they see their own words reflected back at them, they're like, well, you didn't use that, but that's what you said. But, all that sort of stuff.
We've only had that happen once, I think, where someone, after that, I posted up the show notes, which we usually pull from like the website of our guest. And then they had a problem with what was posted up there. And then they said, I listened to the show, I don't want that, and that, because I already talked about that on another show. And I just responded with, that's a shame. How am I going to edit that from YouTube during the live cast that went out last week? And they never responded.
Yeah, people can be so pedantic, but I don't know if it's because I've worked in the media. So I've been interviewed and had some shocker quotes going there, but I know better. I mean, I said it, I think I said, so, a hero shouldn't be a douchebag or something, and they use that as the first line. It's like, well, I said it, or something about my dad reading the love scenes in the book, And I think, why did I say that? But I just laugh it off. I think, we'll amuse someone out there. So,
you have to.
Yeah.
I mean, there's obviously a fine
line. I don't
line.
take myself that seriously.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's an Australian thing, I think. I mean, there is a little bit of a fine line. If you start going down like the Mel Gibson road where it's just a racist rant because he's not thinking, then that's a problem. But if you start off in an interview saying, I thought, my character was a bit of a douchebag. It's like, well, that's harmless, really. It doesn't affect anyone other than your fictional character.
Right.
Yeah, and it makes people keep reading the article because it's, it's not PR fluff.
Yeah,
so,
that's right.
Yeah.
So
be real, people.
Be real. That's hella good.
That is hella good.
I can't use that.
We're going to make that an Aussie thing.
I hope not. That sounds terrible. Now, why romance?
Why romance?
I know you probably haven't listened to past episodes of this show, but I have a real thing with that, so that's why I always ask.
It's your favourite
genre?
genre?
Yes, you do.
Oh, yeah. It's my favourite genre.
Yeah.
Mm.
Why can't men admit they like the romance bits in movies and, you know, pretend that they just like the action all the time? Are you just trying to, you know, is that to prove your manhood?
No.
Or is it real?
No, it's real, and it's to the point, like, even my wife, she likes watching those sort of romantic films, but she turns to me, she did this once before on a recent movie that I had to watch, that she turned to me and she said, if you ever do anything like that, that sickens me. And I went, I agree. Yeah. It shouldn't be that way. So, yes, I don't know.
Yeah. Some of it does seem a bit stalkerish and a bit wrong. I agree.
Yeah, and just
I've got a little twin boy running in here, so we'll have to sort him out. Sorry.
That's all right.
But I'll talk about romance anyway.
Yes.
Why romance? So, so basically I come from, my background's more in what I like to read with chick lit. Do you know what that is? Like Sex and the City and Bridget Jones, sort of that era of the 90s. And when I was still reading that and trying to write that, and it was really dead in the water, and it still is now. Chick lit is a bit of a bad term. I guess now they try and call it romantic comedy or women's fiction. They're sort of trying to bring it back in a different way. But so whenever I tried to send, a manuscript to a publisher, I had no luck because it was the era of sort of small town romance, country romance was quite big, and Twilight, that fantasy paranormal type stuff is a big deal. And anyway, I sent off my manuscript around the place, and one that got back to me was Penguin, and they said this is when a lot of the big publishers were starting their ebook imprints, which is basically to try out new authors on the cheap. And they were starting a new imprint called Destiny Romance. I said, if you can increase the romance in your book, we'll consider publishing it. So I did that, and they took it on. And so I've sort of found myself in this romance world, even though, it might not be a totally natural fit for me. I guess, but it's what the market wants. But I can't write that traditional Mills and Booney type romance. I've tried, and I think I've finally realised it's never going to happen for me because it's not what I naturally read or write. So,
but how do you go back to a story that you've sort of fleshed out, and when someone says to you, needs more romance into it, like, how do you? Do you just pick a random spot? Go, oh, they're walking along, she held his hand. Oh, look at that! They're going for it on a park bench.
Basically, no.
Oh, right.
No, I think on this story, it's called City Glitter, and it was, as I said, it was around the time of Twilight. So, and I'm not a fantasy reader at all, but or paranormal. But I was trying to write for the market because I'd tried to write all, different things and hadn't had any success. And so these characters were half fairies living in the city. And I think I've done so many revisions of it, like just trying to make it fit something, that I think it was just another rewrite of it. But there was a romance component because I knew that there had to be something of that kind in there. But somehow I just added more of those scenes, and I don't know.
But where do you pick it though? Where do you find that spot to do it? Do you just extend an existing somewhat romantic scene and go?
I think it's just adding more scenes with the hero in there, like so making that, because I guess for me I like to have there'll be friends, there'll be career, there'll be other issues going on as well. Whereas romance often just focuses on the hero and heroine. So I had to sort of include more scenes with him and, maybe because there's always a sort of a 3/4 way in the book where they're sort of in this happy love bubble before things go to shit again. So
completely wrong. Yes.
So I probably extended that a bit more and, had them spend a few more days together than just that one night, and then everything went to hell. I don't know.
Did you show your husband?
Boosted it up. Sorry? Did
you show your husband the book or the story and then say, what do you think of all the romance in this? Oh.
No. I mean, I think he's almost finished reading that one. That was my first one. He's almost finished reading that one. He hasn't read anything else. But he's like, this is quite funny. This doesn't sound like you. But no, he's not a big reader. And My mum's never read any of my books. My dad is embarrassingly the only one that I think has read probably a lot of my books. You know, and they do have romance scenes, so that's a bit cringy. But yeah, he doesn't mind them.
Right,
So,
I bet. But, I mean, yes, I had the pleasure of speaking to your mum at that workshop, and I just found it quite funny. She's like, "Well, I don't really get into any of this, but I'm here."
Yeah, she always talks to me about other fabulous authors that she'll idolize particular celebrities or writers or whatever. And I'm like, yeah, Mum, I was a journalist too, and I've got a few books out, but she doesn't care about that. I'm just her daughter.
No,
so,
they don't. They just tell you all the big, well, you should be like, J.K. Rowling. Thanks very much. That was helpful.
Yeah. Thanks. I mean, she used to read fiction when she was younger, but she's more of a non-fiction kind of lass these days. So yeah, that's okay. I can write about her, and she won't know. So
that's an advantage.
Yeah.
Was it a bit weird though? Having a parent at one of these workshop things. If I was to do something like that, I wouldn't want anyone that I sort of really knew there, just in case it,
Bombed.
bombed.
Yeah. I normally I wouldn't, but I think I felt like I needed a familiar face there because I had, as I said, I did my first workshop at the Essay Writer Centre, and I found it quite excruciating. I think because it was my first one, and I was just really like, this is going to be just as bad, no one's going to turn up. So I think I'm quite the pessimist. So I think I needed someone there.
You need to see the audience. I do that. It's like, okay, I have friends in these areas, and I invite them and say, just fill in the audience and look big. I just look like Minnie. That's what I need.
Yeah. I think, I just had a few experiences where, my first workshop I was meant to do at Salisbury Writers Festival, which is another sort of big festival here. I didn't get enough people, so it didn't go ahead. And so I've had sort of a few bad experiences that I thought, I don't know if this is my thing, but I'm feeling better about things now. So
Good.
We're out the other side. Yeah, but I think it's just as a writer, you have to start doing the teaching public speaking thing. It's just naturally happens, and you can't avoid it anymore. So I think I'm getting more comfortable with it.
I don't like public speaking, which is someone say, well, that's a bit weird. You talk every weekend for an hour. It's like, yeah, but I'm sitting here staring at a computer and playing with a piece of Lego they got left on the floor. It's not the...
Don't do that when you speak in public. That's bad.
I know. How weird would that be if you're doing a workshop and you're sitting there playing with something completely irrelevant in front of your face, and you're like, so, I'm going to teach you about writing. It just... I don't know. Why is there an expectation that writers need to get up and speak?
Yeah, and we're probably the worst people to do it half the time.
Yep.
Because we talk to our characters in our heads and we burrow away in our offices. But then there are, Catherine, you seem to be quite comfortable with, from what I've heard on the show. With
she's a show
speaking.
pony.
Yeah, so there's two kinds of writers.
Yes.
Well, I do a lot of public speaking, and I train public speakers. I do some training, not as much as somebody like Betsy Fassbinder, who is on our show, who's a professional speech coach. What I see, and one of the challenges for all writers, is that yes, you not only need to be able to promote your book, and that's an old system that goes back since people wrote books. They probably said, come on, Socrates, come and speak. And he says, no, Plato, you do it for me. Oh. So there you go. And the other, so you have speaking, which can be terrifying for many writers. And then also, you have to pitch your books. You have to sometimes get out there in person and meet editors or meet acquisition editors, meet agents. You have to be able to express yourself enough so that they say, well, you look like a decent person. It looks like you have something to say. Sure, I'll represent your book. And if you are, talking on the floor, playing with your Lego piece and not focusing on anything else, you're going to just bomb. And I think that's too bad, because I agree with you. I think writers are much better all by ourselves, in front of our computers. Don't talk to us, because we're going to create our own world.
That's what we
and
should
yet,
do.
Ironically, those same introverts have to go out and speak and sell themselves. And they are probably, I agree, the least equipped to do that.
Yeah.
I've worked it out. I think we should do a workshop where you just hand out a written email and say, "Here you go, read."
Yeah.
I'll read it. And
No,
it's,
reading
That's
we
what
can
you
all
like
do,
doing anyway.
right?
yeah. And
Yeah.
so if anyone's got any questions, feel free to email it through, and I'll respond
Right.
while I'm here.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually teaching an online workshop at the moment for the month of December, so I'm kind of doing that.
Oh,
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. And I'm finding it a lot less stressful. So.
I bet, because you could just, oh, yep, another email. I don't know. We like to email. I know I do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how we communicate. So, and that's a perfect example. Although, what the trending that I'm seeing now is that authors are saying, okay, we need to do a online webinar, we need to do a blab, we need to do video, and so here we are again, least equipped to do video work. And I'm on a blab with another former guest, Beth Barani, and I'm looking at myself in the in the feedback for the video, and I'm thinking, all right, another ill-equipped moment. Why don't I look like a Cardassian? Because that would work. But no.
What
Get
is
a
the
picture
blab?
of them, put it in front of me. So again, we're not actors. We're writers. Different skill set. But yet we've had to go across, all these platforms in order to promote our work. So it's kind of ironic.
Well, blab.
Maybe we need to hire actors to play us.
Yeah. Yeah, and then
Yeah.
actors hire us to write books that the quote actors quote wrote themselves. So that's nice. That's nice symmetry to it.
I'd hire Jason Statham for me. 'Cause he's an angry
That's a
man.
good idea.
Oh.
But
Yep.
Blab it's another sort of video casting. It's a bit like Google Hangouts, but
Oh, okay.
it's not really there personally.
Okay.
I've watched a few of them, and it works on, if you've got two people, you have to wait for the other person to stop speaking before you can speak. And that feels
okay.
a bit unnatural to me, because we naturally talk over each other. So you just said, "Oh, okay," while I was still speaking, it would cut me off.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, that could be handy though.
Well, you sound like my wife.
But I agree with Damien. It's not normal. And Damien and I looked into this particular platform, not to get too far off, but and we both agreed that since what we do is talk over each other for the most part, it would be very it would end up being a very stilted show, and that wasn't a choice we wanted to. That wasn't a choice we made. We want to make it smoother and just more spontaneous. And there, you lose some of that spontaneous feel with that delay that the beta version of this platform has.
Yes, I can't be cynical and angry in parts.
I'm going to have to look one of these blabs up.
Yes.
Yeah, it's called Blab. It's free. It's in a beta, and it's for video conferencing or video interviewing, and it records. So it's all very cool, but it's still a little bit challenging. It's got a few bugs.
It's probably a
They
Californian
stopped coming
startup.
up. Yeah. Go on. Sorry.
It's probably a Californian startup run on some guy's laptop in his university dorm room.
Likely as not. That's what we do out here. Yes.
So here's a question for you, Carla. You've got twin boys. My condolences. That was a pain. in the neck.
Thanks.
How do you find time now to write when you've got that screaming running around?
Yeah. It is quite hard because we don't use childcare. So my husband works out of home too as a photographer. So his hours are more flexible when he's working out of home. We both work out of home. But it's, hard because they only sleep for a few hours in the middle of the day now. And, either of us will get grumpy if we're looking after them ourselves too long. So, I found it hard, and I think I probably have been trying to pump out sort of words and not polishing it as much, maybe as I should. And I'm thinking, sort of my goal for next year is to take a bit longer with a book and polish it, because I think because I've had such limited time, I have been, I don't know, it has felt a little bit more rushed, and maybe I'm just tired. I don't know, but I think I just am impatient, but even though I only have a few hours a day, I think a lot of people have, a day job as well as writing, like Catherine, and Damien, you know, trying to get your book done. I'm not alone in only in having other responsibilities. And one thing that's good about raising kids as well as doing the fiction writing is I have a lot of time for creative thinking because I'm doing a lot of boring stuff like laundry or washing dishes. I actually can think, scenes will kind of click into place in my mind, and I actually think it's quite, it's quite a good way to do fiction in a way because you've got a lot of thinking time, and I'm not sort of like previously I worked. My last few years was as a full-time freelance journalist, and you work sort of 7 days a week. People think you're just watching Days of Our Life and eating chocolate and in your PJs, but you work really hard because you can't say no to anything because you've got to keep clients and I'd be burnt out, because I'd already been at the computer 8 hours a day, and then to try and write a chapter, whereas this way, I mean, I'm not hunched over my computer all day. I'm just there for a few hours, and I've got this other time that I'm not really using my brain. And I think it's sort of the perfect marriage in a way. Yeah.
Well,
so,
I don't know.
Yeah.
There is being a parent, you can go through, a mental breakdown, especially if you're hearing this. We'll see if I can load it up.
Okay.
I wanted to murder someone. If I hear that...
My boys love that, yeah. Go on.
I was at a school the other day, and they said, "We've got a problem with our projector." I said, "Sure, come and have a look at it." I walked in and she goes, "Now look, when we play this video, the colours don't seem right." And I heard that theme song, and the hairs on the back of my neck just bristled.
Is it big in America, Peppa Pig?
No,
Catherine?
No.
Okay.
Our equivalent is the It's a Small World theme in Disneyland, in the Small World ride. That would be, from the sounds of it, that would be the equivalent song. And it's like, just don't even start humming it because it will live in your head for 3 days, and it's very, very disturbing.
Peppa Pig.
I can't imagine a world without Peppa Pig. Wow.
I can, and it usually goes with eggs and toast too.
Yeah.
Someone's just left a comment on that theme song and says David Cameron loves Peppa Pig. Anyway, it's just wrong.
Does your boy still like Peppa Pig?
No, he's now become a real Star Wars nerd. Big time.
Oh, so you're going to see the movie together? New one?
I'm not sure. I'm not really into Star Wars, but I've been sitting there with him watching it, and I'm more of the Lord of the Rings nerd, whereas, and he sits there and he just tells me all about the lore and the characters that are coming in.
When does it come out for you guys?
I don't know.
I think
it's December 18th here. It's like going to be a high holiday at least in California, because that's where a lot of the filming and where George Lucas Studios are. Everybody's like, the 18th, we're going to see Star Wars. And I'm thinking, I'm not standing in line for 3 days with you people. No.
Do you like Star Wars, though?
I do.
Okay, right.
Very much, but I don't need to like it on the first day. I can like it in the first 2 months.
Yes. Okay.
Can I just say?
I don't get it. I don't get it at all. But.
Yeah, I like getting angry emails. We had a week off, so I haven't had any this week. But I'm going to say, I think Star Wars is shit.
Oh, good. Just set that up to see if you can get any kind of response.
Oh, gosh. I think the podcast
rubbish.
might be shut down.
Yeah, it is crap. I don't know.
I thought if you like Lord of the Rings, you just have to like Star Wars. I thought you were the same kind of people. No?
So what, when that Imperial March sound comes on, it's like, that's the music of my people.
Yeah.
No.
That's what if I don't understand it, it must be your tribe. So.
That's right.
It's not a rom-com.
No. Well, it is, but it's a bit weird, and I think the brother and sister thing happens in that. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I should watch. Okay.
No. Anyway. Have you considered writing a different genre outside of just the romance thing?
Well, I actually this year I think I've had 2 sort of stories bubbling away in my head. One's like a women's fiction, and it involves twin babies, but because I had to get the trauma out somehow. But it's not. They come to look after them, but then it's not their kids. But anyway, and then sort of a thing with the widower husband and, you know, forbidden love, blah, blah, blah. And then a young adult one that I've had in my head for a while, because I think I just finished writing a romance novella where I tried to sort of write for the market because my books tend to be a bit more kind of chick litty, rom-com, but, you know, traditional romance sells through the roof. And I've just sort of finally realised, I think I can't keep trying to fit into this box. And so this year I'm going to just go with my heart and put some time into these passion projects. And, you know, next year I won't be talking to you because I'll be a millionaire. But anyway, no, not really.
Wow.
But no, I just feel like I just feel a bit at that crossroads. I think that, you know, a realisation that I keep trying to fit into a certain box, but I want to be a bit, you know, go a bit deeper and be a bit more honest with my writing, I think. Yeah.
When you went for that initial scan, your husband's sitting there as well, and the lady says, looks like you've got 2 babies. They're going to be twins. What was your reaction?
Well, I'm such a pessimist, like, you know, say we go on holiday, I won't get excited until we get there. And the same with the baby. When she goes, I'm like, there's nothing there, isn't it? That's what I thought. I really thought there's no baby. It's just a mystery phantom birth.
I'm just fat.
Pregnancy. Yeah. Thanks. But then, she said there was 2. And it kind of made sense because a lot of the things, like I've been reading the pregnancy books and I was showing before I was meant to, and, you know, I was feeling quite crook, and so it actually just was like, it made sense. But I remember the first question I asked was, you know, usually there's a weaker twin, like that can, and, you know, like they both may not survive, and so I was all focused on, you know, what could go wrong, because it is a high risk having twins. So the pessimist came out again.
You see, my wife's a twin. And my dad's an identical twin, and apparently it skips a generation, so it skipped mine. And so when we found out we were pregnant, whatever, we go for that scan, we were both stressing out, going, it better not be twins. I don't think we can cope with it as twins. And so when she's done this, she's like, oh, look, there's one. I'm like, yeah? So, there's one in there. And I don't know if we high-fived, but she goes, you two look very relieved. Why are you so relieved? I'm like, well, couldn't deal with twins, sorry.
Yeah. People say that, like, we went to the hardware shop the other day, and the lady was pregnant that was serving us, and she was like, oh my God, I was so thankful, you know, it wasn't twins, because they had it in their family. It's like, you know, we have twins, you know, you can soften the blow a bit, but I think in some ways it's good because I don't have to be pregnant twice.
That's true.
I don't have to have these excruciating baby years twice. So, you know, but it's just, you know, it's quite hard the first few years, but I'll be like the one laughing out the other side.
Well, you could.
I hope
You could say to people, you know, when they say, "Oh, so relieved it wasn't twins," you go, "Well, I've got one extra. You could just have. He's the weaker one." You know?
Yes, yeah. But my husband has twin brothers, and his best friends are twins. So, but they say it's the woman that usually is the problem.
That sounds like something a man would say, but anyway. Sounds like something a male doctor would say. Oh, it's the females, it's their problem.
well, I think, something about the 2 eggs, we released 2 eggs or something. I don't know. So,
well,
anyway, but just seems strange it's in his family.
Yes. Well, I was going to ask, if you're going to write a book based on, what it's like having twins, but you sort of mentioned you're going to do something along those lines anyway. Have you ever thought about writing more of a, it's popular to do like a mother's book, How I Survived Having Twins? But I guess your kids are normal and healthy, they don't have like a third head or anything, so...
No, they're just extremely naughty, but no. I don't think I would do that. I write a column for our local twin organisation, so I write a column every few months, and but I've actually been thinking, well, this is kind of a good diary for this book that I want to write, but I don't think I could do non-fiction. I have a friend that's she's written a few romances, and now she's writing a book about like dogs who've saved people's lives. And I think it's because, and I think something like that would sell like hotcakes, but I think because I worked as a journalist for so long, I just want to play with make-believe. I don't want to do real stuff, when I write anymore. but maybe in the future, I don't know.
Dogs? No, that's not appealing to me. I like dogs, but I'm not going to read a 100-page book on, Fido that came with a rum barrel under him. And anyway.
But yeah, I don't know, cats and dogs, the TV shows, they rate through the roof. I think that, you're either a cat person or a dog person. You can't go wrong, can you?
Right.
No, but
Cover it.
shouldn't be TV. Anyway. I don't know. Now,
Yeah.
where can people find your books?
So my website is carlacaruso.com.au, so CarlaCaruso. And I have a blog called The Un-Italian Wife as well, which it was for a book I was working on where I'm an Italian-Australian background, but I cannot cook to save my life. And so I was trying to learn to cook and, sort of do some Italian traditions through my book research and through this blog. I still can't cook, but I have got a lot of my mum's recipes out of it. So
I do find it funny though, because you've got a blog post up saying, I wanted to cook pasta, I wanted to make pasta, and it's all photos of your husband doing it.
Yeah, I know. Oh, I know. I looked at my New Year's resolutions for last year, and I think because one of them was to learn to cook Italian with this blog. Still hasn't happened. So yeah, no, I did none of my New Year's resolutions. I usually think I'm quite the type A kind of personality that I tick off my to-do list and all that, and I haven't reached one of them. Yeah. Well, what about you guys? Did you have New Year's resolutions?
No. Well, my New Year's resolution is to come up with one. I don't do that. I don't believe in trying to set a goal of, I'm going to lose 5 kilos in the next year. Whatever. It's just, I can't do it. I don't know. But you and Catherine should get together if you're going to do like a I don't know how to cook thing, because, I don't know, Catherine can't even use a microwave. Yeah.
Nope, I can't cook at all, and I don't, and I forget. I can't even pick up food. We had a whole texting misunderstanding last night, and I thought my husband was going to pick up food, and he said, pick up dinner, and I said, yes, pick up dinner. And he thought that I meant that I was picking up dinner, and I thought he was picking up dinner. We can't even communicate about it, let alone produce anything out of the kitchen. So pretty hopeless, but I can write. So that's how I look at it.
Exactly. Does he usually cook?
He cooks because he's hungry. So yes.
Okay. Right.
Is that video still out there, Catherine, of you trying to use a microwave?
It probably is, but I haven't. But I took down the Potato Girl site and everything, so I don't think that's circulating at any point.
Oh,
it's well worth it. It's like a blooper / train wreck. It's like beep beep. Oh, hang on, it's on.
Oh my gosh, I can use a microwave, so
yeah. Well,
wow, I'm a little bit ahead of someone in the cooking department.
You are ahead.
Wouldn't be hard.
I can make reservations. That's pretty much how that goes down.
That's handy. That's handy.
High school students can make 2-minute noodles. Anyway, I don't think Catherine would be able to. Now, we've got a few things that we like to do on this show. Please stick around for them.
Okay.
Do you want to do a word of the week, Catherine?
All right. You get to pronounce it. Ha 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 ha.
Right. So word of the week. I don't know where this came from. You found it. Is this like an American pronunciation? Because I'd say bathos. But it's bathos or bathos. An abrupt descent from lofty or sublime to the commonplace. Right. So
an anticlimax.
So it's like a politician.
And that's how it's used as a word to denote anticlimax.
I see. So, our Prime Minister. How do you get that into a thing? So Prime Minister Tony Abbott had bathos. That's a crap word. Don't ever use that. Just say he had an abrupt descent from... Plus, if you say he had an abrupt descent from lofty or sublime to the commonplace, there's your word count. Anyway.
That's right.
All right. Let's do a tortured sentence. I've got to find the sound now.
Got to find the sound.
Next time, don't put the wrong emphasis on the right syllable. Tortured sentences.
That was me reading romance.
Mine too.
Oh, maybe. Actually, bugger, I forgot to get... I had an amazing email come through, spam email, yesterday, but there's a comment on our website. It's just terrible. It was trying to be relevant to one of the shows we had posted up, so they'd started off fairly sort of along the lines, and then it's just started going about having herpes. It was really weird.
Oh, goodness.
I was going to send that to Catherine and go, do you want to respond to this one?
No, he said.
All right, this tortured sentence, where did this come from?
This came from one of my, well, not one of my critical thinking and writing class, which just makes this, I must not be doing a very good job, because here's the sentence. Corporations prevent people from stealing their ideas, concepts, or logos through patents and copyrights that, when infringed, the victims are sued.
That makes no sense.
I know, that's why it's a tortured sentence.
So corporations are prevented. Well, that doesn't work to begin with. Is that meant to be preventing people?
Yes.
But how does a corporation prevent someone from stealing their ideas?
Well, they sue, but the corporations in this sentence are the victims, not the people who are stealing their logos, concepts, or ideas.
Right. But everyone sues everyone in America, don't they?
Yes, they do. And the only reason we know about the Pilgrims is because we went and looked at all of the legal records, because the Pilgrims sued each other constantly. Apparently, that is something that we just got stuck with as a DNA. Came across from England. Maybe England was super happy to see them all go. Thank God. Now they'll stop suing us.
That's right. We might get somewhere and get rid of this famine and tuberculosis.
Right. It's like, oh my God. So yeah, we're very, very sue happy. Not necessarily something I believe in, but yes, as a culture, yes, the U.S. is very much, the Americans are like that.
I wouldn't be surprised if someone tried to sue me for generalizations about America. I've thrown a few of them around.
I don't think you can get sued for that.
Someone will try.
Maybe a Star Wars comment, though?
Or maybe.
Yeah, the Star Wars comments, maybe we can, there's something there, but the rest of it.
Going to end up with some neck-bearded nerd living in his mum's basement going, I'm going to sue him. Like, well, anyway, thanks for listening. So... Now, Carla, do you use things like a prompt to get into the sort of flow of writing? Some people use prompts to kickstart what they do.
I have a little mini notebook that I carry around, and I write like kind of things throughout the day, like, you know, scene changes or whatever. So I always start by typing out the things in the notebook, and then I start writing.
Wow.
So it's a bit weird, but yeah. So it'll be ideas for other books or things I want to change in the book I'm starting on. So I get that all out of the way, then I start.
That's good.
Very
That's a
nerdy.
great idea.
Yeah.
No, some people say to have a notepad by your bed because, you know, you have a dream or you just get up to get a glass of water and you think, oh, there's an idea. So
You know what I just got the other day? A light-up pen, because I could never read what I wrote in the dark. So now it's like it lights up the whole room, basically. Just when I have a thought, just when I'm about to drift off, my poor husband, and I, click on this little light and pen, and I can read my hieroglyphics in the morning.
There you go.
As someone who gets woken up by his wife on the phone at 2 a.m. sometimes, just turn the light on. Just turn your little lamp on the side and he can say,
just
what are you doing?
Just get it over with, right?
Yeah. Rather than...
But I've been doing that like 10 times a night, so...
Oh, well.
Oh, well, maybe that would be a tad disruptive.
Yeah. So light up pen, people. Yeah, Google it.
Light up pen?
This show brought to you by the $2 store, Light Up Pens.
The only thing it doesn't, the pen doesn't go back in, so it's a bit dodgy. You couldn't have it in your handbag. It doesn't have a lid. Yeah.
Great.
Anyway.
And then you go through the airport with this pen that's lighting up. It's like, hey, that's my notepad pen.
Sure it is, they say.
Yeah.
Anyway, this prompt...
You like Star Wars too? Yeah.
Stop it. Stop talking about Star Wars. It's giving me reflux.
Okay.
Now,
Sorry.
in the US, it's cold and dark. Catherine tends to hibernate by watching too much TV and drinking wine. Don't really see a problem with that. I hate going out in the cold and dark, and so stay home as much as possible. What do you do in the dark season that is different than how you interact with the world when it's light? What about your characters? What do you do in the dark season? Well, we don't really have that, do we, Carla?
Well, winter's pretty gloomy, though.
Yeah,
Don't you think?
not really. I like it.
Aha! You don't suffer from sad like some of us. I would probably find
Yeah.
a way to say, yes, it's dark there in July.
I think if it
Yeah.
was somewhere like, say, we were in Melbourne on the weekend, that place is bizarre. We go to Melbourne all the time, but it was bizarre in the sense of nice, sunny South Australian weather. We crossed that border and it just went grey.
Oh, really?
Really? Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
And-
Bit smoggier.
Well, no, it was just
Yeah.
dreary. Just 20 degrees. We
Oh.
went from like 30, 20 degrees. It rained a little bit. Cloud
Oh,
cover
wow.
the whole time. We left on the Sunday and we hit the border and it went, 37 degrees. Smoking hot.
They get really hot summers, though, too. Like,
Yes and no.
don't they?
Yeah, well, they
Yeah.
get our weather, so we get it first and
Yeah.
soil it for them, and then they can have it
There you go.
and stay out.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And also, it's 40 degrees today in Adelaide, which I don't know what that is in Fahrenheit, but it might be hard to imagine winter
40
in
is
this kind of
flipping
heat.
hot. I'll just go with hot for you.
Okay, flipping hot, right?
Well-
Yeah. So
Oh my
maybe
God.
that's why. Yeah,
well,
it's hard for us to imagine.
it is a bit. Well, I rang through a job to an American company yesterday, and I just, while he was processing stuff, I said to him, what's the weather like where you are? And I can't remember where he was, Oklahoma or something, I don't know. But he said it was 2 degrees Fahrenheit. And
Oh.
I said to him, well, I don't know
Sounds
what that is
cold.
in Celsius. And he worked it out. He said, he looked it up. It's like minus, 12 or
Yeah.
16 degrees Celsius. And I went, you can keep that.
Yeah, yeah.
To which,
Anything? We don't do minuses here, really.
no. We can do
No,
-1 Celsius, maybe.
Yeah,
Sometimes down here at Seaford. But
midnight or something.
big night. But yeah, he said to me, what's the temperature there? I said, well, it's going to be 40. And he just, I could hear him typing. He went, I like it in my warm office. I think it's like 102 or something. It's ridiculous. 110.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, it's crazy hot.
yeah.
40 is crazy hot.
yeah. Well, it might be 39. I could be overstating it. I'm not sure, but it's still damn hot.
I'll go ahead and overstate. That's just fine.
Not doing anything today. Anyway, look, we should probably wrap this show up. It's been a pleasure having you on, Carla. Hopefully you do another workshop down here and I can come down and pick your brain
Yeah,
and
thank you.
make you feel
Yeah, well,
uncomfortable.
you might be doing the next one
Unlikely.
on how to run a podcast in style.
I had thought about doing that once, saying maybe approaching Seaford and saying, can I do the podcast from down there? But looking at how everything's set up, that would be a pain in the neck to lug down there every morning by 8:30 and try and get a good internet connection
Yeah.
using
Yeah.
their Wi-Fi. At least I've
But
got
you
the
could teach a
NBN.
podcast show workshop, like how to do one.
There you go.
Yeah.
Mm. It's not appealing to me.
Plenty of people want to. No, okay. All right.
And it's not...
I think he should. I agree because I've done talks. I've done 2 talks on, or 3 or 4 now that I think about it, on what makes a good podcast. How do you do a podcast? And my only challenge is that people will, they'll raise your hand in the back and they say, so how do you set up a podcast? And of course, my answer is, oh, you just go into Skype and then it's taken care of. It's pretty magic. What can I say?
Yeah.
So I give terrible information because I am not the tech side.
Yeah,
It's like, oh, I don't know.
You need to
It
Skype
just
Damien
happens.
in.
Damien makes it happen.
Yeah.
We have that. There's been a couple of times Catherine said to me, look, I've got a talk coming up on podcasting. And I'm like, what do you need to know?
Exactly.
So,
Yeah, but yeah, they're so popular, and they're taking off podcasts. So
they've been around for a
Yeah, I
long
think-
time. I just think that
They have, but I agree with you. They're taking off again. It was kind of like again.
well, they never really
was it
went
Serial?
away.
Do you think it was Serial that that famous podcast?
Oh yeah.
That
I don't know. I think it kind of waxes and wanes, and it's like, okay, well, we haven't really done podcasts for a while. Let's go try that in the in the internal search for attention on the internet. So.
Yeah.
I think it goes back and forth. We've been doing this for 4 years, so we can actually say, oh, we did it. But the first time it was cool, we did it.
Yeah.
They just need it in your car. If you can tune into podcasts in your car, like
You can.
just easily?
Yeah, I think that's
Can-
part of why I think they're
Yeah.
popular. I know that I like podcasts much better than listening to the radio.
If you have,
Yeah.
here we go. We can do an advert spot now. If you have a car that's equipped with apps that can play Stitcher radio, then we're on there. So you can
Okay.
open Stitcher and you can look up Newbie Writers and you can play it through your car.
I do that on my phone when I'm running. I listen to your show. But
Really?
There you
my
go.
car, obviously.
And you
my car
still
obviously
came
is
on.
not that smart.
You still came on
Yeah.
after listening to. Wow. We're not trying
Yeah.
hard enough, Catherine. We need to turn people away.
Yeah.
That's good. All right. Well, that'll do it for this week. Who have we got on next week?
We have Suzanne C.K. Lakin. Suzanne Lakin, she has a new book, and one of the things I liked about the new book is that I was going to be a contributor to the new book, but I could not follow her program, so she had to drop me and use someone else.
Wow.
So we're gonna see what happened without me.
I'm going to ask what it's like to sack the Catherine Bramkamp.
There you go.
All right. So until next week, we'll see you then.
See you then.
Your book starts here on the Newbie Writers Podcast.